So, when skimming a big ceiling, it's always good to have a plan. I personally like a plan. We work off stilts, so we clear the floors, brush everything, and set our water buckets up to a comfortable height, then we scrim all our joints and angles. So, the first part of our process is to coat over all the scrimmed joints and angles. We will then go on to start and apply our first coat. You will see that George here gives us a throw on with the first coat, and then myself and Mark will keep on top of it, while him and young Colby are away working on all our ceilings. When we're doing large ceilings that require more than one man, we all start from the same side and we coat close to each other rather than starting at opposite ends or at different areas. We just find that it's easier controlled this way, knowing where the start point is for each and every pass. We're also lucky enough to have a labourer with us to keep feeding us fresh mixes right throughout the set. We always lay our skim on as neat as possible. We find that throwing a lot of stuff on quick but messy will only cost you time further on down the process. And once we have our first coat on, we quickly close it in using a speed skim before we start to go on to apply our second coat. So the sparks have been and they've cut out the holes for their spotlights. So between every coat and every pass, we use a wee pointing trowel and cut them out. This saves any drying skim from being pulled across the ceiling. We then just go back to the starting point and follow the same process for applying the second coat. We stay close and we lay it on as neat as possible. Once the second coat is on, we again cut out our spots and then we proceed to our first trowel. You shouldn't be needing to add much of any water at this stage, and we're just basically closing the whole second coat in. On our second trowel, we'll stripe from wall to wall, troweling into the direction of the light which is coming through the window in the room. Normally at this stage we are having to use water to trowel up. Mark then repeats the process doing our third trowel while I check in on young Colby. This is exactly the same as the trowel before, only more pressure is required. As it's quite a large ceiling, Mark begins the next trowel from our starting point while I finish off the third pass. The pass that Mark is now doing, we use a flexi trowel. Some people absolutely hate them, but personally we find that once the set is starting to turn black, that they're great for taking the pressure off the joints. By the time we finish this pass, the ceiling should be in really good shape and is safe enough to get down off the stilts and go grab a coffee. And finally, just to finish off, we run a plazy flex in both directions, and then thankfully that's the job done. As you'll see by Mark's expression at the end of this, he's quite happy to be finished this stage. Glad to get off the stilts and we'll get on to starting to do the walls. Thanks for watching guys, you know what to do.